Let's now invite Katherine Leung. She is the policy advisor for Hong Kong Watch. They are a non-governmental organization based in the United Kingdom with a presence in Canada, the US, and the EU that was established to monitor the conditions of human rights, freedoms, and rule of law in Hong Kong. Katherine, thank you for your time on CTV News Channel. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with your reaction to the names on this list. What do you make of this?
These are just the latest rounds of arrest warrants and bounties issued by the Hong Kong government. There have been 19 total to date, with 2 other rounds from last year, and they contain a variety of national security law charges. And this is a law that Canada has recognized to be in violation of basic human rights. In other words, these are individuals charged with nothing but speaking out for democracy and freedom and being exceptionally good at it.
Strong reactions, we know, that have come in from the US, the UK, EU, Canada as well. But what do you make of this charge that the Hong Kong authorities and the Chinese authorities are charging these individuals with, they say, are endangering national security?
Canada has been very clear about our stance on the national security law. We think that it is a violation of basic human rights, that this is a tool used by the government in Beijing to suppress human rights further in Hong Kong. And Canada has also been really clear that no one will be extradited to Hong Kong because we have a suspended extradition treaty. And the impact of these arrest warrants and these bounties is not only meant for those who were accused today. This is supposed to scare the Hong Kong community into silence by setting an example of what might happen if you speak up.
You have spoken to the power and the impact of these warrants already, but I'm curious to understand, can life continue as normal for these individuals, some of whom, of course, now also have a bounty on their head?
In legal terms, to a certain extent, yes. If these individuals are lucky enough to not have family in Hong Kong or loved ones, then they have these laws have no effect on Canadian soil. However, it is important to say that the impact transcends the individuals accused. This is a way to silence the community, to make it more costly for those wishing to speak up to do so, even though that we have the right to freedom of speech in Canada.
Do you believe these warrants could have an impact on the work or the activism work that they're involved in? Can it impact that in any way?
I think it is going to light a fire under them. From the activists that I've heard from, they are very firm in their stance on standing for democracy and freedom in Hong Kong, that they will not waver even in light of these warrants and bounties. And I think that it is, in a way, a wake-up call for governments like Canada, the UK, the US, on just how severe the threat is from the PRC and from Hong Kong, that they will reach across borders onto their soil, onto Canadian citizens, British citizens, and American citizens alike.
I'm also curious to know, things have changed dramatically within Hong Kong as well since the pro-democracy protests, which we covered so widely. But what is the state like within Hong Kong right now, with authorities continuing to crack down political dissent, like you pointed out, both domestically as well as internationally?
Hong Kong is experiencing a sort of brain drain currently, with many people choosing to leave the territory for countries like Canada that have offered them a lifeboat scheme like the Hong Kong Pathway. Now, there are issues with the lifeboat scheme, with many people seeing a backlog in their applications and delayed processing. But needless to say, many Hong Kongers have chosen Canada as their home. And so we see a bigger community here and a smaller community in Hong Kong of pro-democracy people. Some people have chosen to stay behind because they love the city, because it is their home, and they now have to live a life of keeping their opinions to themselves and not being able to speak up in a way that they used to, even though it was limited.
All right. Katherine Leung is the policy advisor for Hong Kong Watch. We appreciate your time and your insights, Katherine. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much.